So now you want to know what Section 3 is. Fine. I thought I told you, but obviously I ain't tell you because you're still asking what the hell is Section 3. I'm going to show you. Now, I need you to pay close attention, okay? Don't get smart in the goddamn comments. Pay attention. So number one, Section 3 is a law, as you guys saw in the little comments. It is a law that is enforced by the Housing and Urban Development, HUD, right? So now that HUD has this enforcement and accountability to this federal regulation, they dispose of it in two major ways. The first way is through public housing authorities. The second is through cities. We're going to talk about cities first. Number one, every major city produces a plan. Usually it's their 5-year plan, comprehensive plan, but the cities have to produce a plan that says, how are we going to fix poverty? And then with that plan, there is funds that HUD appropriates to the city because they said, okay, you're going to fix poverty, you know, and you're going to do it this way. You're going to provide monies for shelters, monies for people with living with AIDS, these kind of things. Then they put this funding in what they call these community development block grants, CDBG, biggest pots of money that most cities get. So you got to watch the CDBG dollars. But this is where we lose it. Because don't nobody read the city's 5-year comprehensive plan. First of all, the plan is like 800 pages. Who reading that? That's where we lose it. We miss it right there. Because that's where they're telling you they're appropriating the funds. So if in fact you live in a city and you don't like the way they're appropriating the funds, you go down to the city council, you and your squad, and say, no, we want to make sure that low-income people are getting access to these dollars. Okay? That's cities. Now, the interesting part about cities is there is a $200,000 threshold for cities, meaning a project has to be more than $200,000 to trigger Section 3. Got it? Let's go next to the housing authorities. Every dollar in the housing authorities counts. That means out of their whole entire operating fund, every dollar counts towards triggering Section 3. That means employment, training, contracting opportunities are supposed to be afforded first to low-income residents, preferably those who receive a housing subsidies. Section 8, public housing. They get preferences. Okay, keep going. But Section 3 is not just for people who live in public housing in Section 8. It's for anybody low income in that metropolitan area, city, county, jurisdiction. Okay? But here's what's interesting, because here's where the money is getting missed, right here. See this right here? Every housing authority has to produce what they call a Section 3 action plan. It basically says, this is how we are going to ensure that low-income people get access to the opportunity. Check, they do that, right? They submit it to HUD, no big deal. But then all the contractors that come into the housing authority, this could be doors, windows, development, everything from janitorial, maintenance, housekeeping, all of it has to have a clause that says you will ensure that low-income people get access to the opportunities should a new opportunity arise from this contract. It doesn't require you to hire people immediately, but it does say if you have a need for a new hire, it's going to go to residents, low-income people first, right? So then the contractors then submit their plan. Plan is approved, contractor gets a job. But then the outcomes have to be. So at the end of the term, at the end of the contract or end of the project, then that developer, that contractor says, okay, here's our Section 3 results, or here's our report. Every year, there's reports that needs to be done. And with, on the report, it should say, how many jobs did you offer, training, contracting, etc. Zero. Most of the time it's zero because why? They always say, well, we couldn't find nobody who was qualified to work on the job. Nobody said you get a job because you broke as hell. You don't get the job because you broke. You get the job because you qualified. But herein lies why people are missing these opportunities. But then here's the deal. You're supposed to train. Did you train anybody so that the next time around they will have access to the contract? No, you didn't. Did you contract? Did any business in the area get it? No. So zero. This is how, with the new report, $15 billion is missed every single year. That's where $15 billion is going. And what's interestingly enough, public housing is privatizing. So what used to be federal property is now going to be private.